Welcome back to 3 a.m. Horror Audio. The submitter traced this account 20 years, a rural stretch of Australia, where the bush meets the farmland. Jack ran a grain operation, sturdy brick house, wife and 3 kids. A cyclone had just torn through the region. The roads were a tangled mess of red mud and fallen branches. The morning after the storm, his youngest boy, Toby, insisted on heading to school. 2 kilometers of muck. The kid never missed a day. His path took him past Blackwood Pond, a dark, still body of water tucked behind thick gum trees. The eucalyptus smell was heavy in the humid air. The track was slick on the way back. Toby went down hard, palms and knees scraped raw against the gravel. He knelt by the edge of the pond to wash the grit away. The water was freezing. A single drop fell into the dark. Then the air changed. The post-storm breeze died completely. A wall of dry, unnatural heat pushed against his face. He couldn't breathe. Toby scrambled to his feet and ran. He didn't stop until the front screen door slammed behind him. A week passed without incident. Then Jack was walking back from the barn at dusk. The smell of damp concrete and manure filled the cool air. A cold hand pressed firm against his right shoulder. He spun around. Nothing. Just the empty yard and a flickering security light. He went inside, locked the deadbolt, checked it twice. That is when Toby finally told him about the pond. Desperate, Jack called in a local spiritualist, a man who promised to clear the property. The guy arrived with a duffel bag and a smug attitude. He dug up 3 heavy iron stakes buried deep at the corners of the yard, called them bad energy, took them away, along with a hefty fee. Look, that man was dead wrong. Those stakes were never a curse. They were a perimeter. That night, the house didn't just creak, it shook. A massive impact hit the roof. Dust rained down from the ceiling fixtures. Then a voice, a low, rasping growl right outside the bedroom window. It vibrated through the glass. "Jack, who are you calling now? Don't bring anyone else here." The family huddled on the living room floor, paralyzed by a fear so thick it felt like drowning. The property felt different, heavier. The birds avoided the trees near the house. The family dog refused to step off the porch. They eventually sought out Father Mike, a respected community elder who knew Toby's late grandfather, Arthur. Mike sat them down at the kitchen table. He poured a cup of tea. His hands were steady. He took a slow sip. Then he began. According to Mike, Arthur understood the old laws of the land. Years prior, Arthur had mediated a dispute with something ancient residing in the bush. The negotiation failed. The presence felt insulted by the intrusion. Arthur lost his eldest son in the fallout. The boy perished in the brush. Grief pushed the old man to act. Arthur bound those things to the bottom of Blackwood Pond, but he left a failsafe, a blood seal. Only the blood of his own descendants, spilt into that water, could ever break the lock. When Toby washed his scraped hands, the seal shattered. The spiritualist removing the iron stakes had torn down the last line of defense Arthur ever built. Father Mike assured them the presence was weakened from its long containment. He performed a final rite at the water's edge, sent watchers to patrol the property lines. The house stayed quiet for 6 months after that, but Jack still checks the locks 3 times every night. He refuses to walk past Blackwood Pond after sundown. The iron stakes were never recovered. Thanks for listening to 3 a.m. Horror Audio. If this encounter left a mark, hit that subscribe button for more true stories every week. Experienced something that keeps you awake? Send your personal accounts to mishhorror42@gmail.com. Stay safe out there. Some water is better left untouched.